More shopping centers at night. I was busy this weekend. Had to put some new RAM into my computer to get it all fixed up because it broke a couple weeks ago and it was not usable, which is not fun. But we're back to it. More parking lots at night. It's hot during the day. It's Arizona. We're almost 100 degrees here on a consistent basis in May. It hasn't rained this May yet. Usually we see a lot of rain in years past, but not this year. It's just basically fire and sun. So let's go take a look. We're going to walk around this parking lot and see a whole bunch of stuff. There's a Harbor Freight Tools, Zips Sports Grill, and a whole bunch of other places. Here we go, we're getting started. I feel like barbecue right now. We got the sports grill over there. I've not been to Zips, but a lot of people say it's a good place. Not sure myself. We have Fred's Flowers. I see ads for them all the time, all over the place. And they send me stuff in the mail too. Yoga and Tai Chi. Don't know much about that place. But I know a lot about Harbor Freight Tools. For people in different countries, Harbor Freight Tools is like a hardware store. But they specialize in kind of their own brands of stuff. Their tools are kind of seen as inferior and cheap, but you're able to get like very specialized tools for real cheap. That's kind of their draw. Usually stuff that would cost hundreds of dollars would probably cost less than $100 in these types of places. We have a float spa, which is kind of a new thing that's been popping up all over the place. I believe it's like a chamber that you can kind of float in. It's like a high salinity salt chamber thing, like they like sensory deprivation. I think that's what it is. It could be something different, but we've been seeing a lot of those kind of places pop up. Try to get a little bit closer, see what's up. Flotation therapy oxygen bar. Yeah, they got a whole bunch of stuff in there. It's nighttime, so we hear a lot of crickets. The fountains aren't going right now, but these are fully functional fountains. It's a good cricket noise. We have someone walking over towards us, so I'm going to try to go back out into the street to avoid. Tempe Dance Academy. Not sure what types of dance that they specialize in, but I think it's more like hip-hop kind of stuff. Here is Plato's Closet. They take a lot of like the designer brand stuff or like the old out of seasonal kind of stuff and they sell it for cheaper. I don't know if you could sell to them. I know in high school it was kind of a popular place to go for a lot of the girls so they can get like the designer clothes real cheap. Signatures in hair. I don't know why there's a walker out front of it. It looks like a hair place. I'm smelling what smells like Mexican food. It smells like tacos. Here's Play It Again Sports. This is like a reclaimed sports equipment store. And you can sell and buy used equipment in there. It's a real popular place with like families with children, you know, your kid's getting into Little League and you don't want to spend hundreds of dollars on a brand new bat. Come here and pay $50 for one that's used and all dented up. But it works. It's not like they need any professional grade equipment to go play Little League. This used to be the site of Tuesday Morning. It's kind of a weird place. It's hard to describe, but they would like buy in bulk a whole bunch of like old department store stuff and then sell it in there. So you'd see a whole bunch of like toys, figurines, home goods, and all sorts of stuff like that in this place. They closed down right around the pandemic time. They were already in financial trouble. They're getting destroyed by Amazon and all these other places popping up. Since Amazon's been real big, it's been hard for places like that to compete because it's just so cheap. To the nines. Kids Strong. I'm not sure what it is nowadays, but this used to be a like homeschool supply store. I think it was the Lakeshore Learning Center, but most of those went out of business, if not all of them. They were real popular in the 90s, as homeschooling was kind of on an uptick around that time. Here's the Grand Fountain. I forgot to look up the name of the shopping center like I always do. But this is kind of their marquee position right here because it's the largest fountain. It's pretty big. It doesn't look like there's any coins in there, so I'm not sure if they clean them out a lot or they just don't have a lot of foot traffic to go throwing coins into it. Lomi Pokey. Not sure what this is. Looks like there's a tutoring center here. There is a lot of like residual like learning kind of stuff around it, because that used to be the homeschool kind of center. Bumblebee cabinets. It looks real nice in there. It's really bright. Seems a little specialized though, maybe too specialized. Nails and spa, there's those places all over the place. We gotta get out of the road here, so someone driving up the road behind us. Over here we have a Dunkin' Donuts. It wasn't always a Dunkin' Donuts. Sounds like there's a big bug flying around here. Here is the fitness center. I forgot what used to be over here, but this wasn't always a fitness center. I think it was a grocery store at one point. But I forgot what grocery store it was. It wasn't Bash's, because Bash's is across the street. It's since then turned into a 24-hour fitness center. So people come here to work out late at night. These are the EOS ones have been buying out a lot of the LA fitnesses and been popping up all over the place. They send me little leaflets in the mail all the time, trying to get people to sign up for the gym. I should probably go to the gym, but I don't. Feta Cowboy. This has been multiple restaurants over the years. It's nothing ever really been prominent enough that I would remember it. Just things pop up here and go out of business all the time. Here we have Bank of America. America's most hated bank. They've been involved with a lot of controversies. Oh, this is the McClintock Fountains. That's what it's called. We'll walk over here to the side so we can get some good marquee. There's a whole bunch of places down over here that I don't really know much about. Maybe we'll take a walk over there before we head to the street corners here. But here we are. We've seen most of these places. I don't think I've seen Peak Nutrition. I think that's something coming up here. Try to get us a good marquee shot for the McClintock Fountains sign. It's located in Tempe off of Warner and McClintock. Oh, there's Peak Nutrition. Within the last several years here around COVID time, a lot of like vitamin stores and nutrition stores have been popping up around this area. I'm not sure why. Maybe it's because the gym is drawing more people here to kind of improve their life. Computers and question mark. I've always wondered what Rubex juice is. There's a coin shop over here? I didn't know that. Your local experts in rare coins and bullion. They don't even have a sign on the wall here, so it's like, never seen it. Is this place even here? Oh, I guess the windows are really reflective. It looked like it was empty. That's just the reflection. Looks like they sell breakfast sandwiches. And I guess it's like a juice bar or something. I'd imagine maybe it's like a Jamba Juice. But I don't know for certain. Is there a crosswalk over here? I see a light. I think this is over here. This is by the fire station. So it's not necessarily a crossing area. But we can probably use this as a cross area. It's like 11:30 at night. Let's see, what time is it really? It is 12:04, so it's just midnight. Be really cool if there was an emergency right now. We could see the car drive out of the garage. Here's fire station number 7 in Tempe. I didn't know they leave the truck doors open. You'd think they did, would at least close those. But I guess any amount of savings of time is useful. Across the street, that church over there. Desert something Lutheran church. That's where I had my piano recital when I was younger. Me and my brother used to play the piano. I was never really good at it. I just heard what sounded like a gunshot over that way. It sounded kind of far off in the distance. Maybe it wasn't a gunshot. That's just kind of a weird part of town to have a gunshot. It's sort of a decent part of town. We're in the heart of Tempe, and there's a lot of fancy... we're just gonna cross right here at the light. There's like a lot of fancy apartments and stuff, and sort of upper end living places. I don't know what you would call them, like you live around a lake, but it's not like a golf course kind of house. It's like a special gated community, but without the gate. Not sure what they call those. We got a light breeze over here. It is very calm and quiet. Not surprising at midnight. Here we have Free Fly. I'm not sure what this type of place is. Some sort of restaurant. I smell chicken. There's actually people still inside there. It looks like they got a lot of different IPA alcohols. Free Fly. Oh, there's the chicken. It's Cane's across the street. smells like chicken. They're still cooking. Here's the Verizon store. I think this used to be a 7-Eleven. And then, for some reason, it turned into a Verizon store. And it says it's open right now. But it don't look open. The sign in the window says open. Firefly Bar Capri. Looks pretty fancy. Chicago Rosita's Pizza. We've ordered pizza from there a couple times. Drink me tea and treats. Wow, that has a really blue sign. Still smells like chicken. Dexa Fit. Another fitness place, maybe. I really like the lighting on these buildings. These shadows are actually pretty cool. A med spa, an espresso house. Looks like also kind of a farmy store next to it. Great Harvest Bread Co. It's actually kind of an interesting place down there. I don't really want to walk down that hallway at this hour. Probably set off some alarms. A massage parlor, nail spa, a salon. You see these all over the place. I don't know how you make any money at a nail spa or a salon. They're literally all over the place. Lee's Tailors. That place has been here for years. Like literally years. Alloy Personal Training. Last on the list over here is Garcia's Mexican Food Restaurant. We frequent this place a lot. It's kind of one of our family favorites. It's more of a chain restaurant, not exactly a authentic kind of Mexican food. It's close. It's good enough. It's tasty. It's similar to Olive Garden of restaurants, or of like Mexican food restaurants. When you go in there, you get unlimited chips and salsa and beans before your meal, similar to the Olive Garden breadsticks. There's a dead rabbit on the ground right here. I'm not going to point at that. Just an observation. So this one is a different name compared to the one we looked at earlier, which was the McClintock Fountains. This is the Countryside Specialty Shops. And it has 4 marquee stores on this area. Across the street over there's a Starbucks. It's dark right now. And then Bash's. Many Bash's all across the state of Arizona have all been shutting down. They've been scaling them all back. And this has been happening for almost 10 years now. They used to be one of the most prominent grocery stores in Arizona. They were all over the place. But slowly they've been quietly replaced by like Whole Foods and Sprouts. And now Winco Foods and Aldi are really starting to edge in on their market. Which has forced Bash's to kind of take their focus back a little bit. The Bash's family also owns AJ's Fine Foods and Food City. So AJ's Fine Foods is more of like an upper class kind of grocery store kind of thing. Bash's is more the middle class. And then Food City is the lower class. And for many years, there's been a big conspiracy saying that the meat that you buy at Food City originally was at Bash's, and then before that it was at AJ's Fine Foods. So when they first get the meat, the freshest stuff is at AJ's, and then as it ages, they slowly move it to the lower and lower tier stores until it gets to Food City. Which you usually see those types of grocery stores in more of the lower income areas. Largely the middle class has been disappearing a lot in Arizona here, as Arizona slowly edges more towards the upper class. It's becoming a lot more expensive to live here. Housing prices have shot up huge amounts since like early 2010s. I purchased a house a while ago, back in 2017, and since then my house has doubled in price. We'll go over here a little ways, and then we'll probably loop back. We've been going for 21 minutes. Hopefully you guys are enjoying the commentary. Here is a blue light. Also canes. Many of these lights in Arizona use these kind of lights, which were once a white color, but because of the heat, the phosphor layer that's on these LED lights that allows it to show up as white dry up and like crack and fall off, which eventually leads to a purple light happening. So driving up the street during the hottest parts of the year, you might see a lot of the street lights turn purple. They switched all of our lights to LED long time ago. But many of these lights can't withstand the heat that we have here. Alright, we're back to the Starbucks. I'll show you more of the buildings once we get to the edge over here. There were some people kind of hanging out in the parking lot, and I didn't want to point the camera at them. It's best to not draw any more attention to myself than I'm already getting. Especially at midnight. Alright. To the edge here. There's a karate place. I don't know much about all these buildings over here, or all these shops. We've driven by these hundreds of times, but just never really had any need to come over here. I did go to Zesty Zeke's one time, I think, with a friend of mine who actually passed away a while ago. Mr. Joe Bryant. Used to work with him at one of my previous jobs. And he's a good friend of mine, I feel. He had alcohol issues. And during the COVID time, it just kind of got to him. And he had died from liver failure. But Zesty Zeke's. We went there to pick up a pizza once that he ordered. We were playing games at his house, and we decided to go get pizza. And we just decided to just drive over and get it instead of paying the delivery fee. And we came over here and picked it up. But that's the only time that I've ever been to Zeke's. It has gotten eerily quiet. Smells like chlorine out here. Here's a pool supply store. There are like beetles or something on the ground here, trying to take off. It doesn't look like a roach. I don't know what it is. But they're like all over the place. That's weird. I don't know if they're trying to like graze or eat something. But I'm hearing them all over the ground. Alright, there's still people in the parking lot over there, so I'll try to point more towards the fascia of the building as we walk by it. Here we have bashes. So, middle-class grocery store. Very similar to a Safeway. They look very similar on the inside. They do make some pretty good cookies in here, though. If you're ever here to come pick up the bakery cookies. Normally you wouldn't think that grocery store bakery cookies would be that good, but bashes are decent. They're not the best by any margin, but they're pretty good for as cheap as they are. A lot of times you get some of those, like, if you buy them at Fry's, they're terrible. They're bakery cookies. Usually they're rock hard. But over here, if you get them fresh, they're actually pretty good. I always see people walking in and out of the sewing store in the corner here. I think this is by the yard. It's like a fabric store. Yeah, their sign's not illuminated. But they're like a fancy fabric store. Sewing has largely gone out of favor for a lot of hobbyists. So fabric stores are starting to become a lot more rare. Mug haircuts for men. This is where I get my haircut. It's pretty good. I feel this place is a lot better than many of the other chain haircut places like Great Clips and Sport Clips. I don't really like Sport Clips. Got too much of a bro atmosphere. Not that too much into sports. This is something we can't really see at night, but there's actually a fake palm tree right here. That is a cell tower that's disguised as a palm tree. They put those up a lot of these urban areas to try to disguise it, but it just looks so ridiculous that it stands out even more, in my opinion. And I'd imagine it cost a lot more. Across the street you have Discount Tire. This is one of the few in Arizona that do like extra stuff. Most Discount Tires actually do just tires, but I think this one might do wheel alignments and maybe oil changes. I don't know if this one does the oil changes, but not very many of them do them. They're mostly tire centric. For the longest time they had like a big monopoly on tires here in Arizona, before Costco and Sam's Club started their own tire shops. And Big O tires started coming in Goodyear. But their organization has been in the state of Arizona for many years. At least through the 80s. They had a very famous commercial, like stating if you're not happy with the tires that you can return them. But it had like this old lady that was walking up to the store with her look like it's fully functional tire. And then she grabs it and throws it through the window, and it shatters. Shatters through the window of the glass. You can look it up on YouTube. It's pretty funny. But when I was a kid, that commercial was on like all the time. You know, pretty much every state has their own specialty local commercial that was a big influence in the area. Arizona's no different. Alright, we're gonna cross the street here. This is McClintock and Warner, as we said earlier. This time we're legally crossing the road and not potentially illegally crossing the road. We gotta cross one more time to get back to the car, and then we'll wrap this video up. For some reason, these areas don't have a button. Oh no, it does. It's over here. Let's hit it. It only lights up. It's not a talking button like many of the other buttons are. But it did change pretty quickly when we hit the button. A lot of places tend to try to water the grass at night like this. This is not good to water the grass at night, but it's a lot more water efficient to do it. Consistent watering of your grass at night can actually cause fungus and other dangerous viruses to grass to actually sprout and grow. It's also not the best for your trees either. But you use substantially less water when you water at night compared to when you water during the day. When it's 120 degrees outside, it pretty much evaporates instantly. Many places will try to water right before the sun comes up, as that's kind of the best time to water, versus watering late at night like this. So that way you kind of get the best of both. But a lot of these businesses don't really care. They just want green grass. They don't care if they make problems later on, because they just pay landscapers to fix it. But that's part of the reason why you get all this like brown grass. Either it doesn't get enough water, or it's watered too much at the wrong time. McClintock Fountains. This sign isn't as cool as the other one. Oh, I just noticed on the ground here, they use the Duncan font on the drive-thru. It's kind of weird that they point this way to the drive-thru, but then it says do not enter. It's a little confusing. But I guess it's that way. But it's just a little confusing. It says do not enter when it points this direction. Dunkin' Donuts has been around for many years, but it's seen a recent resurgence in popularity. Popular with coffee goers who are trying to get out of the hole of Starbucks. These types of places are actually starting to hurt a lot, as we had Dutch Bros come in. They recently moved their entire global headquarters to Tempe, Arizona, from I think it was Seattle, Washington, mostly due to unhealthy business practices in those regions of the U.S. Moving to towns where taxes and things are less and more friendly towards businesses. Here is Rigatoni's. It's like an Italian food restaurant. sort of a middle upper class restaurant. I'd say it's probably above Olive Garden, as it's not really a chain place. But it's not like high class or anything where it's like stupidly expensive. It smells like pasta and garlic. Alright, made it about almost 40 minutes. Almost back to the car. Looks like Zips is closed now. And there is somebody making out over there, so we're not going to point that way. We'll jump in the car and do the sign off. Away from all of this, so I'm not going to point that way. I guess the bars have just closed. Start. Okay, we're in. Okay, hopefully you guys enjoyed the walk around and kind of talk about this area. It has a little bit of history to me, so tried my best to kind of explain what I've seen or what I've heard about all these different businesses that were here, / are here, / used to be here. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this one. Make sure you guys leave likes, comments, and subscribe to see more binaural recording sights and sound with me, host Dan. And have a good one. See you next week.